It's keto fat bomb time. Those of you that know ketosis know that in order to be successful in ketosis, about 75 to 80% of your calories need to be coming from fats. So that's where having a nice fat infusion with a keto bomb comes in place. So let's break down the ingredients. First off, we have about a quarter to a half a cup, depending on how much you want to make, of coconut oil. Then we have about a quarter cup of sunflower butter. Then we have 3 to 4 tablespoons of cacao powder. Then we have 2 to 3 tablespoons of Brazil nuts and 2 to 3 tablespoons of chia seeds. I'm going to break down all the science. So let's get to it. First things first, we've got our quarter cup of coconut oil. Now, the reason that I'm using coconut oil is it's super high in what is known as lauric acid. You see, lauric acid does some unique things within the body. Lauric acid, when it ends up hitting your digestive system, it converts into something known as monolaurin. Now, monolaurin has amazing antimicrobial and antibacterial properties. It's even been shown in some studies to actually stave off very, very potent viruses. So it's a very powerful thing. Now, additionally, when it comes down to ketosis, coconut oil is super high in medium chain triglycerides. We're talking about caprylic acid, caproic acid, and capric acid. These bypass the liver altogether and give you instant energy. So not only is Keto Bomb going to help you with getting your fat calories in, it's going to help you with energy too. So we've just got that quarter cup there. Then we roll into a quarter to 1/3 of a cup of sunflower butter. Now, why am I using sunflower butter instead of peanut butter or instead of anything like almond butter? Well, it has to do with the fact that sunflower butter is super, super high in vitamin E, which is great, powerful antioxidant, super high in magnesium, but here's the most important thing. It is something that does not contain phytic acid. See, almond butter, peanut butter, those things have phytates in them. And those phytates slow down the absorption of the actual fats themselves, and they can cause digestive upset. If you've ever been out in the woods and you've seen animal scat, you see that it still has chunks of nuts in it sometimes. Well, that simply is because nuts don't break down very well. Sunflower breaks down a lot better. So that's why I use sunflower butter here. Okay, then we get into cacao powder. Now I have a little bit more here. I have about 4 tablespoons, but you can use 2 to 3, all the way up to 4, even 5 tablespoons of cacao powder. Unprocessed cocoa has about 300 different versions of chemical compounds in it. So it can really help you out a lot more than just traditional cocoa. And it's a huge serotonin stimulator. So it ends up helping your body produce more of the neurotransmitter that's gonna help you feel good. But additionally, it has a couple of really cool things in it. It's got anandamide and phenylethylamine. Yes, you heard that. Phenylethylamine? Yeah, phenylethylamine, I know! So phenylethylamine is this really cool thing. What it actually does is it induces euphoria. If you've ever had that good feeling when you have chocolate, that's what's causing it. It's the phenylethylamine, and the anandamide causes a big effect too. That can actually just cause a nice little relaxation effect. Now, note, even though I brought the dogs into the equation here, don't give cacao to the dogs. It's not good for them. But additionally, super high in theobromine as well, which is gonna give you a nice little energy boost. And of course, you've got a little bit of caffeine too, which is gonna help mobilize fat. So I'm gonna mix that together just a little bit so that the cacao doesn't totally fluff up later on when I start to mix it. Now, this is also gonna act as a really good binding agent. Then next up, I've got Brazil nuts. Why am I putting Brazil nuts again? Well, it comes down again to the fact that they have a very low phytic acid content, which means they're easier to break down. But it goes on a little bit further than that. You see, Brazil nuts are super high in what is called selenium. Okay, and selenium is a trace mineral that in men helps produce more testosterone. So it actually helps with luteinizing hormone. It helps with the overall conversion to testosterone. Now then, for women, it's really good for the thyroid. You see, it contains a really unique enzyme, an enzyme that's known as triiodothyronine. This enzyme helps the conversion into actual thyroid in the body. See, there was actually a Brazilian study that took a look at this, okay? They took a look at people that were deficient in T3, which is the active thyroid hormone. They gave them Brazil nuts. They found that their selenium levels restored, and then consequently, their T3 levels went back to baseline. So yes, just by adding simple Brazil nuts, they were able to improve their thyroid function, their thyroid levels. Why does this matter in ketosis? Because some will say that if you've been in ketosis for extended periods of time, that you can actually damage your thyroid. Now, there's not a lot of evidence to back that up, but why not beat it to the punch by just adding these into the equation? This next ingredient is the really important one, and this is chia seeds. Now, the reason that chia seeds are so important here is simply because they're acting as a binder. Now, there's a lot of nutritional, really powerful things to this too, but when we're using it as a binder, it's gonna help hold this all together. Now, what I did is I took about 3 tablespoons of chia seeds and I soaked them in a little bit of water. You see, when you soak chia seeds or when you cook them, they turn into a little bit more of a gel-like substance, and that's gonna be a tremendous binder. It's gonna attract the water and draw it in. So any of the moisture that's there from the sunflower butter or anything like that is gonna get drawn in because of the chia seeds. So you do wanna soak them a little bit. See how they're kind of gelled up like that? Now, the other reason that we want to use chia seeds is simply because they are 75% omega-3, okay? Now, they're omega-3 from alpha-linoleic acid, which means they still have to go through a conversion process in the body, but it's a heck of a lot better than using some of these other seeds out there that are much lower in omega-3 and much higher in omega-6. So all I'm going to do is mix this all together, make sure all of that cacao gets mixed in. And we're gonna pop that in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes, let it get a little bit more firm, and then we're simply gonna scoop it out. Be back in just a second. All right, so here we go. So it's been in the fridge for about 10 or 15 minutes, and now you're set. Now I want you to keep in mind that each tablespoon of this, you can have it about like this, is gonna end up being close to 120 calories. So you wanna make sure that you're really using these in moderation and not going totally overboard. But there you have it. You can scoop these up into little bite-sized morsels like that, stick them in the freezer, then put them in Ziploc bags, and you are good to go and can bring these things with you just about anywhere. Just don't dive into the entire bowl because you will meet your caloric requirements about halfway through that entire bowl. So be very, very careful. Use this with caution. All right, I will see you in the next video, and if you have any other ideas for ketosis or fasting recipes might be easy because you just don't eat. But anyway, if you have other ideas for recipes, make sure you put them in the comment section below, and I will be sure to run them through the team to see if there's something that we can do for you. I'll see you in the next video.